October 5th, 2014, from LP Field in Nashville, Tennessee. It was the Cleveland Browns at the Tennessee Titans. And the Titans started with the ball first. They would punt on their first possession, and the Browns would punt on their first possession as well. So the Titans now had the ball with 8.5 minutes left in the first quarter. And they had the ball on their own 42. They moved the ball across midfield, and then on 3rd and 9 from the Cleveland 47, they ended up getting a defensive pass interference that actually brought them all the way to the red zone, to the Cleveland 18-yard line. And then 2 plays later, on 3rd and 3 from the 11, Jake Locker hit Kendall Wright for a touchdown, an 11-yard touchdown pass to make it 7-0 Tennessee over Cleveland. So now the Browns got the ball with about a little less than 5 minutes left in the first, and they would go 3 and out. So now Tennessee got the ball back with 3 minutes left in the quarter as they brought the first to a close, as they were already in the red zone, as they had a huge play on the second play of this drive, a 38-yard run by Wright on an end around, which brought them across midfield, and they had gotten all the way down there. So in the beginning of the second quarter, it was 2nd and 7 from the Cleveland 16, and an incomplete pass made it 3rd and 7. So it was 3rd and 7 from the Cleveland 16, but it would be an incomplete pass, but a defensive offsides would make it 3rd and 2, so we would repeat 3rd down. It would be on the 11-yard line, and this time Jake Locker ended up running it in, and it was now 14-0 Titans over the Browns. So now the Browns had the ball with just about 20 seconds off the clock here in the second quarter, and they were backed up against their own end zone on their own 14-yard line. But they would end up bringing the ball to midfield and into Tennessee territory. They got all the way to the very edge of the red zone on the Tennessee 20, but they would end up having to settle for a field goal as Billy Cundiff came into the game and kicked the 38-yarder. It was now 14-3 as the Browns trailed the Titans by 11 points. So now Tennessee had the ball with 10 minutes left before halftime, and they had it on their own 20. They would end up going 80 yards in 13 plays, eating up about 6.5 minutes, capped off by an 11-yard touchdown pass from Charlie Whitehurst to Kendall Wright, as Whitehurst had come into the game just 2 plays earlier as Jake Locker was injured. So now it was 21-3 as the Titans now were up on the Browns by 18 points. Now Cleveland got the ball with a little less than 4 minutes left before halftime. They would go 3 and out. So Tennessee now took over on their own 25. On the first play of the possession, Charlie Whitehurst hit Hunter for a 75-yard touchdown pass, and it was now 28-3 Tennessee. So the Tennessee Titans were now up by 25 points with a little under 3 minutes left before halftime. The Cleveland Browns would take over on their own 10-yard line as a penalty on the kickoff had them backed up against their end zone once again. They actually picked up 21 yards on first down as Hoyer hit Benjamin. And then a few plays later, Hoyer would hit Austin for a 31-yard pass, and now it was 1st and 10 on the Tennessee 25. They would make it down to the 1-yard line a few plays later, and Brian Hoyer threw his first touchdown pass of the game. This one a 1-yard touchdown pass to Dray, and it was now 28-10. That would be the score going into halftime, as the Titans would just take a knee and let this game go to intermission. So at halftime, the score was Tennessee 28, Cleveland 10, as the Browns trailed by 18 points. So then in the third quarter, the first drive of the third was the Cleveland Browns' possession. They started on their own 20, and they had a 49-yard pass from Hoyer to Gabriel that brought them to the Tennessee 31. And then 4 plays later, they would end up settling for a field goal as Billy Cundiff came out to kick a 42-yarder. And it was now 28-13, Tennessee over Cleveland, as the Browns were chipping away at the Titans' lead. So now Tennessee took over with about 13 minutes left in the third. They would end up punting after running off about 4.5 minutes off the clock, as they did pick up a couple of first downs. But now the Browns got the ball with about 8.5 minutes left in the third. They had it on their own 20. They would make it all the way down to the edge of the red zone of Tennessee, and on the Tennessee 22, they went for it on 4th and 3, and they ended up turning the ball over on downs with an incomplete pass. So now Tennessee took over with a little over 4 minutes left in the third quarter. they would go 3 and out and end up punting the ball back to the Cleveland Browns, who took over with about a minute and a half left in the third quarter on their own 41. They would cross midfield and get to the Tennessee 35 as the third quarter came to a close. So they opened up the fourth quarter with the score 28-13, as they now trailed by 15 points after having trailed by 25 at the end of the first half. But here in the first quarter, they had the ball on the Tennessee 35. They made it all the way down into the red zone and all the way to the Tennessee 4-yard line. But on 4th and 3, they could have picked up a first down if they got to the 1. They went for it on 4th down, and another incomplete pass on 4th down would turn the ball over on downs for the second straight possession for the Cleveland Browns. So now the Tennessee Titans took over with a little under 13 minutes left in the game. They had the ball on their own 4-yard line as they were backed up against their own end zone. They would go 3 and out, and they went to punt, but it was a block punt as Carter blocked it, and it ended up being a safety as the ball went out of bounds. So now the Browns would end up getting the ball back as they got 2 points on the board. It was now 28-15 as the Browns trailed by 13 points with 11 minutes left as they would be receiving the safety punt after the safety. So the Browns had the ball on their own 33. They ended up losing 5 yards off a false start, but then on 1st and 15 from their own 28, they got a 21-yard pass from Hoyer to Gabriel that brought the ball to the 49 as they're at midfield. They got it down into Tennessee territory as they were chipping away. Ben Tate was picking up some yards. They got the ball down to the Tennessee 27, 2nd and 8. They picked up 10 yards on a pass from Hoyer to Dray, and then on 1st and 10 from the Tennessee 17, Hoyer hit Benjamin for the touchdown, a 17-yard touchdown pass, and it was now a 6-point ball game with the score 28-22 as the Tennessee Titans were in the slight lead by 6 points over the Cleveland Browns. The Titans now got the ball with less than 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They went 3 and out and punted the ball back to Cleveland. So Cleveland now had the ball with a little over 5 minutes left in this game as they trailed by 6 points after having trailed by as much as 25. So on 1st down from their own 33, it was an incomplete pass, and on 2nd and 10, another incomplete pass, and on 3rd and 10 from the 33, Hoyer dropped back to pass, and he was intercepted by Griffin. So Griffin got the ball back for Tennessee as they had turned the ball over. The Cleveland Browns turned the ball over for the 3rd time here in the second half, 2 turnovers on downs, and now the interception. So now the Tennessee Titans have the ball with less than 5 minutes left in this game, and they had it on their own 22. They weren't able to really go too far. They made it to their own 42, but on 4th and 1, they ended up going for it, and they ended up getting stopped for no gain as they tried the quarterback sneak. They did challenge the ruling on the field, but it was upheld, and so now they turned the ball over on downs. And so the Cleveland Browns got the ball. It was just slightly over 3 minutes left in this game. They had the ball on the Tennessee 42. Ben Tate got about 2 yards on 1st down, 2nd and 8. Brian Hoyer hits Miles Austin for 23 yards. Now the ball's in the red zone on the Tennessee 17, 1st down. It was an incomplete pass, but it was an illegal contact called on the defense, so now it was 1st down on the Tennessee 12. A short 6-yard pass brought it up to the Tennessee 6 on 2nd and 4. Brian Hoyer hit Benjamin for the 2nd time in this game, and now the comeback was complete as the Cleveland Browns were ahead by 1 point with the score 29-28 after having trailed by 25 points. They ended up scoring 26 points to take the 1-point lead. Now with just 1 minute left, just a little over a minute left in the fourth quarter, Tennessee would get the ball back on their own 20-yard line. They would bring the ball out. They got to their own 43. So now there was 1st and 10 on the 43 after about 4 plays. And then Charlie Whitehurst was sacked by Williams for a 6-yard loss, brought him back to 37. An incomplete pass made a 3rd and 16 with 10 seconds left from their own 37. They threw a deep pass. Wright caught it for 16 yards, but that would be it, as that was the last play of the game. This game came to a close as the Cleveland Browns pull the biggest comeback in their franchise history as they win this game 29-28 in Tennessee. They improved to 500 with a record now of 2-2 with this 1-point victory and this huge comeback. The Titans are now 1-4 on the season, and in this game, Brian Hoyer was 21 for 37 with 292 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Charlie Whitehurst was 13 for 21 for 194 yards and 2 touchdowns after coming in relief of Jake Locker, who was, in that short time that he was in the game, an impressive 8 for 11 with 1 touchdown and 79 passing yards. But he went down. Whitehurst came in and was impressive in the relief. Ben Tate was the game's leading rusher with 22 carries for 123 yards. And the leading receiver in the game was Hunter for the Titans. He had 3 receptions for 99 yards and 1 touchdown there for Justin Hunter. And on Cleveland's side, Taylor Gabriel had 95 yards and 4 receptions to be their leading receiver. Although it was Travis Benjamin who had the 2 touchdowns off of the 4 receptions and 48 yards. And on defense, the leading tackler in the game was Michael Griffin. He had an impressive game for the Titans in this 1-point loss. He had 14 tackles, 1 sack, a tackle for a loss. He also had an interception. He played a tremendous game, but all for naught as they lost by just 1 point. There was 3 sacks for the Browns, 1 sack for Tennessee. The Browns had Williams, Bryant, and Sheard all had sacks, and the 1 sack was for Griffin, as we already said. So quite the exciting game. Cleveland comes from behind and pulls it off in a dramatic fashion as they win this one by 1 point after having been down by 25 points.